Every year, the Bahamas Insurance Association recognizes February as Insurance Month. This year is no different. Today, members of the association will be joining me to talk about the events that are happening in recognition of Insurance Month, as well as the importance of insurance and the need to keep out-of-pocket costs for health insurance claims affordable for Bahamians. Keep watching. This is You and Your Money.
You and Your Money is brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas, Leno Corporate Services, and the Bahamas Insurance Association.
Welcome to You and Your Money, everyone. Members of the Bahamas Insurance Association, also known as BIA, are insurance companies, brokerages, and agencies licensed by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas. Joining me now is Timothy Ingraham, past chairman of the BIA and the general manager of BIA member Summit Insurance. Timothy, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Ms. Butler. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, Timothy, let's get started by talking about what's the theme for this year's Insurance Month and why is it relevant for today?
Well, our theme for this year is building a stronger Bahamas together. We feel that there are many ways that we can build a stronger Bahamas, but insurance is certainly one of them. Insurance is a product which helps us individually and collectively to be very resilient to the things which impact us, whether it's hurricanes, whether it's death, whether it's illness, and many other things like that. And so we feel that we should highlight the ways that our industry can assist in making us a stronger country.
You know, one of the key words you actually said there is definitely resilience, and we're definitely working towards how is it that we can make the Bahamian economy one that is truly resilient. Talk about how the last few years have highlighted the need for the various lines of general and long-term insurance.
Well, the last few years have actually made a lot of people much more acutely aware of the need for insurance. You look at Hurricane Dorian in 2019, which swept through Abaco. Hurricane Dorian for the local insurance industry was a $2 billion event. That $2 billion allowed most of the homeowners who were insured, most of the businesses who were insured, to come back and rebuild their businesses. As many studies have shown that businesses, individuals who are impacted by such catastrophes, if they're not insured, there is a very, very slim chance of them bouncing back from that. But if they are insured, the chances of their recovering from such an event are far higher than not being insured. The pandemic was another one. So if you were became ill and you had medical insurance, that allowed you to get the care that was required. Persons unfortunately would have passed away from that, would have left families with bills. If they had life insurance, that life insurance would have ensured that the families were taken care of financially. And another one which some people don't think about or some people may not realize, we were able to open our economy because the Ministry of Tourism was able to sell a travel insurance product. That travel insurance product allowed persons to come to the country. It was sold along with the travel visa. If they came to the country and if they became ill, it paid for them to stay longer until they recovered, or it paid for them to get emergency flights back to where they came from. So those three items there highlight the ways that insurance has helped this country become resilient. In the aftermath of Dorian, you recall Dorian was September 2019. Pandemic occurred, we went into lockdown in March of 2020. Our financial reserves, US dollar reserves that is, were quite robust throughout that. And we in the insurance industry tie a part of that at least to the fact that we were pumping claims payments in the order of $2 billion into this country from late 2019 up until I would say sometime early last year. So there are many ways that insurance has demonstrated that it can assist this country and any country really, and in individuals in being resilient and being able to recover from any bad luck issues which may befall them.
You know, you said bad luck issues, you know, the recovery efforts, I would say that it's probably still ongoing when we think about the level of the impact that it would have had on the lives of so many others. There have also been a number of events BIA has held in the celebration of Insurance Month. The association recently held a lunch and learn for members on the theme, Managing Customer Service in a Changing Insurance Market. How is this insurance market changing, and what adjustments have BIA members had to make to continue to deliver quality customer service?
Well, in the insurance industry, like a lot of the rest of the industries in this country, we are fairly slow to change. But obviously the pandemic changed that very rapidly. So whilst most companies prior to that may have been accepting payments in person, may have been accepting claims in person, may have been accepting proposal forms in person, they very quickly had to adapt to doing this electronically. And so companies have continued with that, along that track of making sure that the business is more modernly facing. The other thing is some companies have gone into technology even a bit deeper. We have one company, for instance, that you can just tap on their app and report your claims through video conferencing. Some companies have roadside assistance, so if you have a problem, you call them any time of the day or the night and someone will show up to assist you. On the background, we are using a lot more data. Data is a lot more important for many industries, and ours is certainly a part of that. So we use this all to serve our customers, to know our customers a lot better, and to make sure that we're giving the customers what they desire.
The data aspect is definitely one of those things that will help in terms of the ease of doing business. How have you seen today's higher cost of living impact the number of consumers who are able to keep up with the insurance premiums?
Well, it's definitely had an impact as premiums have risen, as the economy has tightened, as persons have had less disposable income. So what we've seen is, for instance, through the mortgage companies, banks which hold mortgages have been taking possession of a lot more homes, and they have been insuring those homes as they take possession of them. In a lot of instances, they're not taking possession, but the client is struggling to pay the insurance premium, so the bank steps in and assists with that. Other clients have opted to take a higher deductible, for instance, on their insurance premiums, on their policies to bring the premium down. Some have dropped cover altogether. Some may have dropped the hurricane aspect of the cover and decided to keep the fire aspect of the cover. But it has definitely impacted most or quite a number of our people. We understand that. We always encourage customers to go and sit with their agents and speak with their agents about options which may be available to them to help control their costs and to make sure that they retain some level of protection and that they don't give it all away or let it all go away. And that's especially important in things like life insurance, where if you've had a life insurance policy for 10, 20 years, you don't want that to just suddenly lapse, because it could be quite beneficial to keep it going because of the profitability benefits that have accrued to you. So always go and speak with your life insurance agent about options if you feel you're being financially squeezed, and I'm sure in most cases they can find some way to assist you.
I like that you said, being able to have that willingness to go in to talk to the agent, because when you think about it, it's not just about running away from the issue of there being an increased expense, but finding, alternative measures or means that can actually help you out. This month, BIA is holding a food drive. Talk about the food drive and how can viewers actually support it.
So we do this each year. It's the organization's way of giving back. Even though a lot of our companies already are very well engaged in the donations arena, BIA as a body decided we want to do something special for organizations in honor of this month. So we're encouraging our companies, we're encouraging our employees, we're encouraging our customers to support the food drive. If you're interested in donating, just drop it off to your local insurance agent and tell them this is for the food drive. The Insurance Association's office is actually located on Mackey Street in the Royal Palm Mall upstairs. And we encourage if you're passing there and you want to drop it in there, Dr. Rhonda Chipman-Johnson is usually there and she can accept it there. But if you go into any insurance office that's a BIA member and say, I want to make a donation to the food drive, they will be able to assist you.
Well, Timothy, thank you so much for sharing the information that you had with our viewers for today, and thank you so much for joining us on the show.
And thank you again for having me.
Coming up next, the chairman of BIA's Health Insurance Committee will join me to discuss the new VAT rule change on health insurance claims. You're watching You and Your Money. We'll be right back.
Samantha's always on point. She doesn't miss a thing. When she signs up for any insurance policy, she reads all the fine print. She knows what's covered, what's not covered, and she's aware of her deductibles. When it comes to insurance, it pays to know your policy. Review every insurance policy so you know what you're covered for. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas.
You watch them grow and make plans for them even before they're old enough to talk. You spend a lifetime of sacrifice to pave the way for their success and create a tomorrow you too can be proud of. Can you tell who is the investor? At 𝗪𝗓𝗧𝗛, we believe everyone who has ever put a penny aside for a future dream is an investor. If you're new to investing, 𝗪𝗓𝗧𝗛's financial experts stand ready to design plans based on your goals. Let's sit down and explore the options one-on-one and see how, together, we can make your dreams come true. Whether considering traditional investments like a new home, car, your own business, security in retirement, or your child's college fund, we take the confusion out of the process and make an investor out of you. Call 396-3225 for an appointment. 𝗪𝗓𝗧𝗛, your bridge to the future.
Welcome back to You and Your Money. We're continuing today's show with BIA, the Bahamas Insurance Association. BIA is celebrating Insurance Month. Joining us now is Marcus Bosland, chairman of BIA's Health Insurance Committee. Marcus Bosland is also the resident actuary at 𝗪𝗧𝗧𝗧 Insurance. Marcus, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Marcus, I want to talk about the issue surrounding VAT on health insurance claims. Effective April 1st, 2023, persons with private medical insurance will see an increase in VAT charges on medical treatments and medications. Talk us through how VAT payments on health insurance claims work. What are the insurance persons paying presently, and what will they be paying come April 1st, 2023?
Sure. Well, health insurance is a taxable product. That means all our clients already pay VAT on their insurance premiums. They pay 10% VAT on all the premiums that they pay. On the claim, the insurance company and the insured currently share in the VAT on the health claim. So if an insured person goes to a medical provider for a service, the insured person pays their share of the claim, as does the health insurance company, and both pay a commensurate amount of VAT. That is the current rule. It was the rule from when VAT was implemented way back when, and it will continue to be in effect until the end of March of this year. However, come April of 2023, the government's made a decision to change the way VAT operates for health insurance. In the future, you will continue to pay 10% VAT on your premiums, but now the VAT on the health claim will be treated quite differently. In the future, rather than the health insurance company paying its share of the VAT, the health insurance company will be prohibited from deducting VAT on their tax returns, and similarly will not be responsible for any of the VAT on the service. So the client now would have to pay their share of the underlying medical claim, and regrettably they would have to also pay all of the VAT on the underlying service.
That sounds like it's going to make it a lot more difficult for the actual individual.
Quite correct, and that really has been the basis, that is the BIA's position. This is a substantial tax increase that we think will make it more difficult for people to access care, despite the fact that they have insurance. And it's all the more regrettable in our view because the VAT, they're already paying VAT on their premiums. And most other businesses are allowed to deduct the VAT that they pay. And you know, originally when VAT was implemented, so too were the health insurance companies, but the government has decided to make a change in the rules, as is their right, we have to say. But this particular change will come at a significant expense, regrettably, to our clients.
Yeah, earlier this month, Economic Affairs Minister 𝗪𝗓𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧 said that the VAT rule change will not drive up healthcare costs. Talk about why BIA disagrees with this.
In a press release that the Ministry of Finance put out about a month ago, in response to a release that the BIA itself had put out, the government indicated that it had audited one health insurance company, and it found that one health insurance company had deducted VAT on health claims totaling $20 million. The Ministry of Finance's release didn't indicate how long a period that $20 million was over. But certainly $20 million is a significant sum of money. I think that fact makes it crystal clear that this will be a substantial adjustment for our clients. The BIA has done our own internal investigations, and we believe the impact of this will be effectively $11 million per year. We have provided the government with our calculation and our results. And although they have not indicated their agreement with it, neither have they indicated that they have any disagreement with the calculation. So I think from our perspective, when you look at our internal calculations, which is about $11 million per year, and you look at the Ministry of Finance's own press release, which indicated that one company alone was $20 million a year, it's clear, I think, that the impact of this will be substantial. It's a substantial tax increase. And from the BIA's perspective, an $11 million tax increase on our clients cannot be done with limited impact. It certainly is going to be a substantial impact that they bear, which is very much the reason why we advocated against this change in policy.
Was there any indication as to why such a major decision was made based on the audit of just one company as opposed to multiple?
Technically, they audited two, to our knowledge. When they audited the first one, our member indicated that to the BIA and indicated the results, and the BIA started its process of consulting with the government because it was clear that this was going to end up as being a change in the rules. So we are aware of at least two members that have been audited. And I have to say we're grateful for the fact that having written the government a little over a year ago, the government took the time to consult with us effectively over the course of the year. We regret the fact that we weren't able to change their minds, but at least we're confident that we got a hearing. Some of the other affected parties were not so fortunate. To our knowledge, before the decision was made, there was no consultation with the medical fraternity. To our knowledge, there was no consultation with the pharmacists. And similarly, no consultation with members of the general public. So I do think that greater consultation would have allowed the government to get more information. And it's entirely possible that their perspective that this change will have limited impact on the consuming public may have been formed by the fact that they have not widely consulted apart from the insurance industry.
I think it's always important that we, as decisions are being made, that the stakeholders, the relevant stakeholders, are part of the conversations and even the consultations, even with having to ensure that whatever the decision is moving forward, that those persons who are being impacted by it, they actually have a say and their voices are being heard. BIA issued a press release back in January that stated that the VAT increase on health insurance claim will drain our foreign exchange reserves. Talk about this and some of the other economic implications.
Sure. So this increase in taxes really just affects insured clients who get medical services in the Bahamas. VAT naturally is a Bahamian tax. It's applicable to goods and services procured here. When our clients go overseas for medical care, they pay whatever taxes come to bear overseas, and they don't pay specifically VAT. So our clients can escape this increase in taxes by getting medical services overseas. This is not something that we as an industry generally support. We are local companies. We are committed to the local medical providers. But the reality is the tax hike faces local providers and local providers alone. So we are worried that more of our clients will seek care overseas in order to avoid the VAT. That means a drain in foreign exchange. It also means less business for local medical providers. And that is of general concern to us because, you know, if they have less clientele, they have less incentive and ability to invest in their services. And ultimately, that could cause fewer services to be able to be performed locally. So we are worried about the knock-on effects of this change. And you can be assured we made this point clear to the government. So the government is aware of at least our concern in this regard.
Based on the likelihood that more and more persons may seek medical attention internationally, we can definitely see where the impacts of that can really be far-reaching when we talk about the local environment and what's going to happen in our local economy. Marcus, we have to take a break. We will continue when we get back. This is You and Your Money. We'll be right back.
You watch them grow and make plans for them even before they're old enough to talk. You spend a lifetime of sacrifice to pave the way for their success and create a tomorrow you too can be proud of. Can you tell who is the investor? At 𝗪𝗓𝗧𝗛, we believe everyone who has ever put a penny aside for a future dream is an investor. If you're new to investing, 𝗪𝗓𝗧𝗛's financial experts stand ready to design plans based on your goals. Let's sit down and explore the options one-on-one and see how, together, we can make your dreams come true. Whether considering traditional investments like a new home, car, your own business, security in retirement, or your child's college fund, we take the confusion out of the process and make an investor out of you. Call 396-3225 for an appointment. 𝗪𝗓𝗧𝗛, your bridge to the future.
Samantha's always on point. She doesn't miss a thing. When she signs up for any insurance policy, she reads all the fine print. She knows what's covered, what's not covered, and she's aware of her deductibles. When it comes to insurance, it pays to know your policy. Review every insurance policy so you know what you're covered for. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas.
Welcome back to You and Your Money. Marcus Bosland of the Bahamas Insurance Association, also known as BIA, is still with us. Marcus is the chairman of BIA's Health Insurance Committee. He's also the resident actuary at 𝗪𝗧𝗧𝗛 Insurance. Marcus, before the break, we were talking about the economic implications of the VAT rule change on the health insurance claims that's set to come into effect April 1st of 2023. Talk about the impact of the rule change on health insurance providers of medical care services, as well as the pharmacies.
Sure. Well, certainly all our clients are going to face a tax increase. And the benefit of that tax increase, I guess, from the government's perspective, is they get more revenue. The downside of it is it makes it more difficult for our clients to access medical care. The strongest value of health insurance is in providing access to financial resources when you are sick. And the fact that VAT is now being added to those claims in a way that it wasn't before, it reduces our clients' financial ability to pay those, for those medical services. And we're concerned that it might cause them, as I mentioned in the previous segment, to seek care overseas. But one other possible thing that happens is that they avoid getting the care altogether. which is certainly not in their health interests, certainly not in the country's interests, and it may cause all sorts of problems down the road.
The conversations between the BIA and the government are said to be ongoing. From the BIA's perspective, what would be the ideal outcome of these conversations?
Well, you know, the best outcome would be for the government to not go ahead with the change. We read with interest the Prime Minister's statements that they remain open to conversations on this matter. As far as we're aware, the government has made a final decision, and this rule change will come into effect come April. But the BIA remains open, and we believe the status quo is completely adequate. It allows government to receive a fair share of tax revenue on health insurance. And I think it also produces a fair burden on our clients. So if the government were to change its mind and not proceed with the rule change, that would be great. But I have to say, there are no ongoing active discussions between the BIA and the government. As far as we are aware, the government has made its final position, even though they've indicated their openness to further discussion. But you know, I guess we have about a month before the rule change comes into effect, and so you know, any change is possible.
Well, at this point, how are health insurance providers preparing to implement the VAT rule change in the meantime?
Sure, two big things I would say. Internally as insurance, we're all doing system changes to ensure that both through the transition and afterwards, that health claims are paid as the government new rule requires. We're also doing, as a BIA collectively, we're doing extensive consultation with the public to make sure that the public is educated about the change and how it's going to affect them. We're also doing outreach to stakeholders, including those in the medical community, to ensure that they understand the changes that have to be made on their end as well to their billing systems. So really, over the next, until the rule change comes into effect, I think we're going to continue doing public outreach to make sure that people understand what's happening while preparing for the changes within our own organizations.
I want us to talk just a little bit more about the educational component and the outreach is actually happening. How are persons able to participate in this type of campaign?
Sure. Well, we're doing as many public sessions as are possible, whether it's on radio, shows such as this. We've been invited to a number of Rotary meetings so far, and we remain open to any invitations that allow us to get the message out, reach more customers, tell them about how this change will affect them so that they can prepare themselves for the eventualities. So the BIA is doing whatever it can. You will also in the future be seeing advertisements done by the BIA that sort of make a similar case, really just a fact-based set of arguments saying this is what's going to happen come April 1st to allow people to know what's going on.
Marcus, thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, that's it for today's show. We want to give a special thanks to the Bahamas Insurance Association for sponsoring the show today. Don't forget, for the entire month of February, you can support BIA's food drive by donating non-perishable food items or monetary donations at all BIA member locations. A list of BIA members can be found on BIA's website, bahamasinsuranceassociation.org. Don't forget to follow You and Your Money on Facebook and tune in next week for a brand new episode. I'm Ria Christina. Thanks for watching.